Hey everybody. So Jon David had a pretty stable night and day, which is good news. And then today they tried to, wean him down on his vent by 2 settings, which he tolerated for a little while, and then kind of made some small shifts in his blood gases that they ran, so they ended up putting him back up. So he pretty much ended up on net 0 for the day. He ended up back where he started this morning. So his vent was pretty much net 0, but they were able to bring his epi down to 0.05, which is good news. And then they also were able to come down on some of his hydrocortisol, which is for his kidneys. And so all of this just means that he now has a little more room to be able to kind of use those if he needs them after chest closure. Basically just gives him some wiggle room, some margin, which again, we are happy about because it means that he has less support, which means they can use more support if they need it. And they've pretty much prepped him for full chest closure. They've gotten him to pee off fluid. They've gotten him squared up, and they're going to end up doing 2 chest closures instead of 3. So we were told the other day 3. However, the surgeon and the team have kind of talked a little bit more and think that there's not really a whole lot of room. I mean, he's a small baby. And so with what she did the other day, where she closed these 2 and then closed the bottom, there's not a whole lot of room left. So instead of splitting that into 2 separate surgeries, she thinks that really by the time that she closes it one more time, it'll all be so close together that it just makes more sense to go ahead and just close the whole thing. And so that is why they're going to go ahead and just do it one. The reason being, the whole reason why they were thinking of breaking up into 3 was to reduce the amount of pressure put on the heart by closing the chest in stages. And so it doesn't make sense to do a third one if when they do the second stage, it's already right there and it's already what they call approximated, meaning it's already basically the skin is touching. So if it's already there and the pressure's already there, then it makes no sense not to go ahead and sew him up. And so that's why they decided to end up going with 2 rather than 3. Now, that being said, Hunter had a phenomenal 4th at the lake. He went out and had a whole lot of fun. And then Mallory and I went and did something that one of the heart dads that I've met here, he said they did it last year because they were in the hospital on the 4th of July. And so we went up to the 11th floor, and then we're up there and we're watching fireworks, and actually watched it with quite a few other patients and their families and even employees. Like, there were quite a few people up there watching them. And it was kind of neat sitting up and seeing everything kind of out on the horizon. But, that being said, please pray for these 3 things. 1, that his heart, his lungs, and his kidneys will continue to do well and improve because they are the keys to him getting better. That he will tolerate the final closure tomorrow and that his heart will be able to handle the pressure with him closing his chest. And then for all the patients and their families on the PCICU, because again, this is not an easy journey in any way, shape, or form for anybody. And so one thing that we really haven't gone a whole lot of in-depth on and a lot of the stuff is like praises. 1, we've been praying for his heart, his lungs, and his kidneys. The fact that we were able to wean some of the supports at the very beginning of this video, when you heard me talking about like the vent support and the epi and the hydrocortisol, those are all based on those 3 systems, the heart, the lungs, and the kidneys. And the fact that we've been able to wean down on some of those shows that his systems, those 3 things, are getting stronger, which again is good news. So that is a praise that we are happy that they are getting better. And then also, just a recap of the last 7 days. You know, he's had a pulmonary crisis where his lungs were essentially getting flooded. So they did the pulmonary banding last Friday. That was emergency bedside surgery. And then Monday night, going into Tuesday morning, had his cardiac arrest. And then, you know, there was also his surgery Monday morning. So in the last 7 days, he's had 3 surgeries, essentially, or 3 open heart surgeries. He's had 4 total surgeries because of the first partial surgery closure, and then tomorrow's the other one. So in the 8 days since last Friday, if we're counting Saturday as tomorrow, he'll end up with 5 total surgical procedures with 2 life-threatening events, being the pulmonary crisis on that Friday and then the cardiac arrest on that Tuesday morning. So there's a whole lot to praise here. There's a whole lot to be happy about, and that he has been able to get through all this. And there are things sometimes where even the numbers are saying this, but then the result is different. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but there definitely have been times in the last 7 days where the numbers were saying this and he kind of defied those numbers and did something good. And that is where I can say only God. Like, for example, when his lactate was 14 and he didn't go into cardiac arrest, that is only God. So that being said, we got his hoodies and t-shirts in, and I thought, given that we're talking about praises, and that's actually what my devotion was about today, it's one of the reasons why I felt like I needed to put it in this video. was to share the verse that's on the back of these for those of you who bought them, but it's Psalms chapter 73, verse 26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. And again, going back to that lactate being 14 and him not arresting with that was only God. So God has gotten us through a lot of this. We've leaned a lot on him during this time. We have had a lot to go through. And so we appreciate all of y'all praying for us. We appreciate God being there for us. And we are praying that he'll be there again for us tomorrow and help Jon David as he goes through this and tolerates this next chest closure. So y'all have a good night and God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.
God is good all the time. Let his love just shine. Raise your hands up high. Touch the sky, oh my. Every step we take, every move we make, God is here for you in everything we do. Clap your hands, come on, sing it loud. This song, God is good, let's shout. Praise him round about. Hearts full of his grace, smiles on every face. Feel the joy inside, in God's love abide. Dancing feet so free, his love you will see. Jump and spin around, feel the solid ground. Clap your hands, come on, sing it loud. This song, God is good, let's shout.
Jon David, tell everybody bye-bye.